They said 7 warriors went in. Only one came out. But that one was enough. I was there the night they left. The whole village was. We stood in silence at the edge of the evil forest, watching them disappear into the blackness. Their torches flickered against the thick trees. Their blades gleamed under the moonlight. No one spoke. No one did. For months, Odiza had tormented us. First, the crops, healthy one day, rotting the nest. Then, the livestock, gutted in the night, their blood painting the soil. And then, the children. The first few simply vanished. No footprints, no trails, just empty beds. Then we started hearing the laughter. Soft at first, like the wind moving through the trees. But soon, it was everywhere, mocking, calling.
I will destroy
The elders finally acted. They chose 7 of our best warriors, men who had faced death before and returned stronger. Chijioke, the giant with arms like tree trunks. Inamdi, the spear master. Ekene, who could outrun the wind. 4 others just as fierce. And Okechukwu, the youngest of them all, barely past 20, but hungry to prove himself. They walked into the forest, and the darkness swallowed them whole. The first night, we stayed by the fires, listening. The forest was silent, no wind, no laughter. That should have been a good thing, but it wasn't. The second night, a child in the village woke up screaming. She said she saw Ekene standing outside her window. But when we ran to check, there was nothing there. The third night, the village dogs howled until their throats gave out. Then they lay down and refused to move. By the 4th morning, we knew something was wrong. Then we heard the footsteps. Slow, staggering, barely human. Okechukwu walked out of the trees, alone. But it was not the same man who went in. He was covered in blood, his clothes torn, his skin scratched and bruised, but his eyes, they burned with something fierce, something powerful. The elders surrounded him, demanding answers. Where are the others? The chief asked. Okechukwu did not speak at first. He just stood there, breathing, his fist clenched. Then he looked at us, his voice steady. They are fighting. His words sent a ripple through the crowd. Fighting? That meant they were still alive. What happened? The chief pressed. Okechukwu exhaled, then told us everything. The forest was alive. It twisted around them, playing tricks on their eyes, turning them against each other. Odiza's minions came out first. Creatures with too many eyes and too many mouths, whispering things that made the strongest men doubt their own minds. But the warriors fought back. Chijioke crushed them with his bare hands. Inamdi's spear flashed like lightning. Ekene cut through them like a storm. Then Odiza itself came. It was not a beast, not a spirit. It was the shadow of every fear, every nightmare. It spoke in their heads, showing them their worst regrets, their deepest shames. It told them to run, to surrender. Odogu, one of the warriors, fell first. He dropped the sword and simply walked into the darkness, gone. But the others stood firm. Okechukwu, the youngest, was the first to break free from Odiza's trick. He closed his eyes, shut out the voices, and felt something deep inside him. A light, a fire that belonged to their ancestors. He called out to the others, "Do not listen. Remember who we are." The warriors turned to him, and something changed. The whispers lost their grip. The fear weakened. Chijioke roared and charged, swinging his blade with all his might. Inamdi followed, his spear glowing as if it carried the sun itself. Ekene, fast as the wind, cut down Odiza's minion one by one. Okechukwu, still young, still uncertain, felt the weight of their ancestors behind him. He took a deep breath, raised his blade, and charged at the darkness itself. Their weapons burned like fire. The spirit of those who had suffered, lost children, stolen villagers, rose behind them, their voices joining the fight. Odiza screamed for the first time with new fear. The battle raged for what felt like hours, but in the end, the warriors stood victorious. Odiza, the great evil that had plagued the village for generations, was gone. Its minions fell. The forest, once twisted and cursed, began to shift. The trees straightened, the ground steadied, the darkness lifted. But the cost was heavy. Only Okechukwu had made it back. The others had stayed behind, holding the line, making sure Odiza was truly gone. But Okechukwu did not weep. They are not dead, he said, voice firm. They are watching over us now, and we believed him. That night, for the first time in years, the village slept peacefully. No whispers in the wind, no laughter in the dark. The forest still stood, but it was no longer cursed. Okechukwu, the youngest warrior, became Okechukwu the hero. The others made him chief, and under his rule, the village flourished. Crops grew strong, children laughed freely, and the shadows never returned. The evil had been defeated, and whenever we looked towards the forest, we did not feel fear, we felt pride. Because we knew, somewhere beyond the trees, the 6 warriors stood tall, watching over us, keeping us safe.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more interesting updates.